Alright, let's get back to the Chaos Tactica. Welcome back. This is Omega Seiji once again with part 3 now it will be of Chaos Tactica, covering our psychic powers exclusive to us, the glorious Chaos Space Marines. As said before, there are some turds amongst the flowers in this little section of our book. Surprisingly enough, most of these turds exist in our first table to go over. The Discipline of Tzeench, the god of magic himself. Ironically, the worst spellcaster in the book. His first power, his Primaris, the power that represents this table as a whole. Tzeench's Firestorm. This is also available to demons. It is a Strength D6 plus 1, 24-inch, Assault 1, Blast, Inferno. Inferno being that each model is moved from the unit causes a D3 further hits at Strength 3 AP nothing. So, what's wrong with this? Well, let's see. First of all, the strength is random. Great. Anywhere from 2 to 7. Pretty wide variation. 2 is bad. 3 is okay. 4 is getting into the average range. Then 5 and 6 and 7 are all pretty good. So you do have, what, a 60% chance of getting something pretty decent out of this, but you have no AP value on it. It's still a small blast. The Inferno is strength 3 AP nothing. It's questionable at best, I would say. We could get a lot better for a Primaris. I mean, look at Biomancy. They have Smite. That thing is gross. This thing is just, no, it's just not that good. You'll kill some Tyrannus with it at the very least, and yeah, you'll kill those blobs like nothing. Anything without armor saves and that doesn't have a cover save against it will get blown up, but we could do a lot better in this. Let's go to the next power, the Boon of Mutation. Oh yeah, this one. Alright, there's a Boon of Mutation. Warp Charge 1 Blessing. Any character within 2 inches, a friendly one, takes a Strength 4 AP nothing hit to the face, but they get to roll on the Chaos Boon table. We've already gone over what the Chaos Boon table does for us. And this power, it gives you a roll on it, but hey, you might die to it. So let's do some math here. You're a Chaos Sorcerer. You have 2 wounds. So let's say you roll this test. You perils. Oh, there's a wound. Okay, Boon of Mutation. Strength 4 AP hit on myself, and I die because I failed my armor save. Cool. There is a waste of a model right there. And that's the problem with this. It risks killing whatever you use it on. If it's a 1 wound model, a Sergeant for example, you risk killing that model. And it's not like there's a terribly small risk. It's about a 50% chance to wound them on most of our stuff, and then a 40% chance that they won't pass their wound save. So that's it's not horribly great odds that you'll die, but it's still chances that you really can't afford with models that are expensive as ours. So I don't think that this is a good power. Most people don't think this is a good power. It's been discussed over and over by a lot of people. This power sucks. Maybe it was supposed to be a 12-inch range and it got put to 2, but it hasn't been errated to be a 12-inch range, so I'm guessing it was made as intended. And it's just too random to really rely on. Now, it can be fun with this. I will say right now, it can be fun. It's not all bad. Take a Dark Apostle, take a Chaos Lord, give him a 2-up armor or something like that, I guess. Give him either a Demon Heart from Crimson Slaughter or Terminator armor if you want to be kind of slow, and just start buffing him up, baby. Pack those boons into him. Pray you don't roll Spawn Hood, which, hey, it's acceptable anyway. Look, you're playing Chaos. Random stuff happens. It's all fickle and fun. But if you have a Dark Apostle, you can reroll that Spawn Hood. You can reroll your no rewards. You can reroll Dark Apotheosis, which, believe me, if you're playing this on a Chaos Lord, you'll probably want to roll a reroll in Dark Apotheosis. Unless, that is, you're taking him naked, which is another good option with this. Naked Chaos Lord, starting out with a Bone of Mutation, playing with the Dark Apostle, and then somehow getting this guy more boons. I suppose you could ally with another Chaos Space Marine faction, such as Crimson Slaughter, or maybe you have a Chaos Sorcerer that's base, allying with Crimson Slaughter to get a 2-up armor save Chaos Lord that's on a bike with Mark of Nurgle, perhaps. Then you can get some really disgusting combinations going. But with the randomness, it's just not there. It's not a good power overall. It's risky. It doesn't help. The 2-inch range is abysmal. It takes multiple turns for it to go off, and it might not work anyway. I would avoid this. If you roll it, the Primaris is still bad, but I guess you can exchange for the Primaris. It's just not good. So that's 0 for 2 so far. Doombolt is next. Doombolt. Yes, a fun name. A Warp Charge 1 beam. 18 inches. 18-inch beam. That's pretty solid. Strength 8 AP 1 is very good. Assault 1 and Detonate, which is 2d6 for the explosion range of a vehicle if it explodes, is interesting at best, but the Assault 1 is good. Point this at Guardsmen and watch the entire line die. Point this at Tau, watch the entire line die. Point this at a vehicle, you have a pretty good chance to explode it. This is basically a weaker Melt-A-Gun, or rather maybe a different las cannon rather. It's interesting. It's very powerful, undeniably. 18-inch beam, you can annihilate whole squads with this thing. You do have to be close, be careful with it, but anything you point this at is going to die. Even monsters, creatures are going to have a hard time with this one. You will wound most of them. You will wound any monsters, creature that Tyranids have that have a 4 toughness. Anything toughness 4 will die instantly to this. Even chapter masters that don't have toughness 5, which I'm not sure they can get it. There probably is some way, like a bike, for example. But you can kill multi-wound models with this. Terminators hate this thing. Enjoy it, love it, and hope that you roll it, because this is the best power on the table. The next power is not bad. It's Breath of Chaos, Template, Strength 1, AP 2. I know that sounds odd, but keep listening. Assault 1, Poisoned on a 4-up, and Corrosion, which is that vehicles suffer a glancing hit on the D6 roll of a 4 or more. Meaning, you can kill a Land Raider in 3 turns. Most vehicles in 3 turns, really. But it does help. It's almost a 50% chance, basically, to glance any vehicle you hit with it, which is not bad. Walkers, smaller vehicles, anything. That's pretty good. And Warp, it's a strength 4, basically, AP2 flamer that always wounds on a 4-up. And since it's poisoned, if they're toughness 4 or less, they get the chance to be wounded again. Yes, again, and it's AP2. I know. Now, it's a shotgun blast. It's dangerous, and it's 2 warp charges. You have to be careful with this thing. Chaos Sorcerers only have 2 wounds. Aspiring Champions of the Thousand Suns cult unit only have 1, and they only generate 1 warp dice, but thanks to the new 7th edition Psychic phase, we can still roll this and use it. Just be careful. Demon Princes will love this thing. They'll also probably enjoy Doombolt quite a bit, as they can swoop and fire the damn thing. Oh, yes, so good. But this, while you can swoop and do it, is risky. But does sound very fun with this as a combination. I haven't tested it, because I don't ever roll Tzeench table, because the other ones are so much better. Take a Demon Prince, or a Chaos Lord, rather a Sorcerer, I suppose, since Chaos Lords can't have psychic powers. Take a Sorcerer, or a Demon Prince. If a Sorcerer, put him on the bike, or on Tzeench's disc for the jet bike. Give him a Burning Brand, and hope that you roll in Breath of Chaos. Roll all 3 if you have to. You'll get Doombolt, Breath of Chaos, the crappy boon, and Tzeench's Firestorm. But that's 2 good powers, 2 decent ones. And I know I said before this table's a dud, and it is for a couple of reasons. Despite us saying that we had 2 great powers and giving you guys a couple of great combinations, really. They're close range for one, and all of the things that can cast these spells are going to have low wounds. We don't want to be close to them. Chaos Sorcerers only have 2 wounds, and the only way they can get 2-up armor is Terminator armor, which is a little bit expensive, but it makes them slow. We don't want that. We want them to be fast, providing support. On a Biker Sorcerer, this can be okay. Give him a Sigil, give him Tzeench, give him a 3-up invulnerable and a 3-up armor, toughness 5. That's pretty solid. But still, it's a lot to put in for just 2 pretty good psychic powers when the other 2 tables in this book and the tables in the book provide so much more value. And we will see in the next videos what Nurgle and Slaanesh bring to the table for Chaos. Before we get into those though, as the Tzeench table is featured on Thousand Suns, the best thing you can possibly get with the table, as I've kind of already said, is Doombolt. You want Doombolt for anything you roll this with. And that's what all there is to this table. It's very reflective of how Tzeench is right now in Chaos in 40k. It doesn't do what it's supposed to. Tzeench is supposed to be about a lot of shooting, a lot of range, and not shotgun blasts, a lot of firepower. And honestly, guys, we don't have a lot of firepower here. We have a beam, we have an Assault 1 flamer, so a flamethrower, a beam, and a single shot weapon. Tzeench should be putting out a lot more shots than this. This is why the Change Discipline in the Chaos Demons book gives you 2d6 base assault shots. Random, but still potentially tons of firepower. And they have some similar powers to us as well. It's just very, very odd, very not Tzeench. And there are other powers that we get in this Chaos book, other disciplines that give us more firepower. Even the basic tables give more firepower. If you can, if you want to build a Tzeench themed list, but you don't want to be gimped by this table, I suggest rolling Pyromancy. We get that with all of our Psychers. Demon Princes, Chaos Sorcerers. Unfortunately, Aspiring Champions of the Thousand Suns can't, but Ahriman can. Even Typhus can if you want to take Typhus with some firepower, even though he has to roll a power on the Nurgle table is a possibility. Take multiple Psychers if you want to. There are options here, but this table is not at all what you were hoping for when it comes to Tzeench. It's not going to make your army that much better. If you're playing Thousand Suns, you will still have a hard time winning games because your models cost enormous amounts of points, and these are all very, very risky. The primary says it all, guys. It's random. It has potential to be very powerful. The potential to be very, very unexciting. So anyway, next video is going to be about the discipline of Nurgle, and I'll see you there.